Hello!
Hello and welcome, everyone.
Welcome to Jojo's World Patreon.
This may be the dumbest idea we've ever had.
Nick,
And I say that a lot.
okay, before we get into what we're doing, just a quick reminder, admin at the top of the show, that of course I'm Liam S. Smith, one of your co-hosts.
And I think Valentine, one of the other co-hosts.
This is Jojo's World Patreon content, the last regularly scheduled Patreon content we're planning to do for a little while, just because while we're in the off-season and we're not doing non-Jojo content on the main feed, etc., I think it's better served putting our efforts into making that main feed stuff as good as we can.
And as we said multiple times, we now have less time and more money in our lives,
Yes.
so it's kind of like, well, yeah.
And just a reminder that we'll be keeping this Patreon running in a support the show without direct benefits thing for a while. So fair warning to unsub if you're not really about that. No judgies.
Yep, just hit us up on Twitter and be all like, yo, fam.
You don't even need to hit us up. You can just quietly unsubscribe.
I unsubbed and I need you to know desperately.
But yeah, well, if you do want to keep us going, that'll help us keep the show going and continue slowly improving it as we've done over the years. So thanks for supporting us thus far.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's been a great time.
So today we are watching every episode of the Haruhi Suzumiya Season 2 arc, Endless 8. We're watching every episode, then recording a 10-minute chunk in between each. So
Now-
we've just watched episode 1. Nick has never seen this show. I've seen season 2.
Now, I don't understand why you wanted to do this,
Okay.
because at this point it just seems like...
I wanted to do something kind of remarkable and interesting for our Patreon finale.
Okay.
And of course, I'm a huge fan of what I'm going to call sort of endurance comedy or endurance podcasting.
Okay.
Like when a stand-up comedian does stand-up for 24 hours.
Yep.
Most relevant, the podcasting work of Tim Batt and Guy Montgomery, who host The Worst Idea of All Time, the podcast where they watch the same movie every week for a year and record a podcast after each watch. And they're also on Till Death Do Us Blart with the McElroys, where they watch every year until they die, Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 at Thanksgiving.
Fuck me. Why do they do this, though? Why are we
Why
doing
are we
this?
doing this? Why are we doing this? Remember that bit from JoJo's World Part 2?
And that is why we're doing this.
For the Vine.
Here we go.
Nick,
So,
The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya is
you
a
do
show...
not like it.
It was a show I was into for probably about 3 months when I was in high school, and then because it was it's a sort of a story about growing up and the world becoming less magical than
Perhaps
it
you
was
originally
when you
thought.
were a child. And in
Yep.
fact, the show still opens with what I still genuinely think is a really interesting monologue from the main character about how he's moving into high school now and he has to put away those childish fantasies. Little does he know he's about to be thrust into a world of exactly those high concept things. And the general thrust of the show is that there's this girl, Haruhi Suzumiya. She's God. She doesn't know it. And she starts this club. And everyone else in the club, other than this main boy, is a
Special being.
an alien, a time traveler, or an Esper, or someone with ESP.
Right.
And they all have to keep her happy because she doesn't know she's God, and if she becomes dissatisfied with the way the world is or too bored, she might, through a dream or a subconscious whim, dramatically rewrite reality in a way that no one wants.
Right. So basically, keep God happy, world exists.
Yeah, and then they just do slice of life type stuff, and there's usually some occasional dash of high concept sci-fi in there, but it's all very low stakes other than an episode here and there.
Okay. Interesting.
So there's an episode where they do the school festival, or they do there's one where they do a student film, but because she gets too into it, the magical powers in the student film start becoming real.
Oh.
So they have to get her to cool her jets.
Right, I see. Now, is this part of this Endless
No.
8 arc?
No.
Now, okay. What I don't understand is, so far, from what we've seen, we had them on summer break,
Yep.
going and doing stuff
Yeah.
generally around the place.
And that was basically it.
That was the entire
They go
episode.
to the pool. They go to the summer festival. They do cricket catching.
They do some fireworks.
Part-time job.
They
And they're all just having nice conversations, and every now and then someone will turn to the camera and say, "I'm an alien."
just a reminder of who we all
Yeah.
are in these summer holidays.
And that's the basic thrust of the show. They'll do a slice of life thing, and then someone will be like, "Oh no, my alien master tells me that we need to fix the supercomputer."
Okay. So how does this translate into
Why
are we watching this?
Nick, it's very hard for me to answer that question until you've seen episode 2. But I'll give you just a brief little teaser.
Okay.
Are you familiar with now what example do I want to pull here?
Joker's Trick.
Are you familiar with the work of Jared Leto as the Joker, who famously intoned in the Snyder cut of that movie,
Justice League?
We live in a society. Apparently is real dialogue. The other thing that I know about the Snyder cut is that it's in 4:3 aspect ratio instead of widescreen.
What? Why?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
But it's very funny to me.
That's so dumb. Okay.
What was the question?
Was that a legitimate response to my...
I forgot what the question was.
Why are we watching this?
Nicholas, have you ever seen... Now, what's the other thing that I watched recently that is one of these things that I don't want to just say the most obvious? Have you ever seen Palm Springs starring Andy Samberg?
No, but I think we've talked about it.
Well, I've only seen it in the last week or so.
Okay, all right. Well, the answer is no.
Nick, have you ever seen... I want to say it's called Happy Death Day.
No.
Okay, Nick, have you ever seen Groundhog Day?
Yes, I have seen
Groundhog Day. We're entering a Groundhog Day scenario.
Okay.
More on that after next episode.
Okay, all right.
So I think I think we're going to have plenty of time to talk about what happens in this episode over the next few chunks.
Okay.
But I think what we should hold in mind is, what was your highlight and your low light for this chunk, Nick? This episode of this chunk that we are recording.
I guess my highlight was just the ending when he was like, I just goofed off in my last day of summer holidays to try and get my homework done, but I didn't.
There's a nice little montage and his sister walks into the room and then they're playing Tetris or Puyo.
Yeah, which I was like, oh, that's nice.
We've all been there.
Yeah, exactly. Very relatable. Me being like, oh, it's Friday. Oh, it's Saturday.
Oh, yeah, I never
still haven't done it.
I never mentioned the reason that I stopped watching this show. Circling back around to that.
Yeah.
Which was I was really into it for 3 months. I read the light novels that have been translated into English.
Okay.
Including the story arc that this is based on. So I have a vague idea of what we're about to subject ourselves to, though I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Then I realized, this is basically just a show about God sexually harassing a time traveler. Because there's a girl called Mikaru Asahina. She's a time traveler. She's well endowed, but she's otherwise petite. And she's basically always forced into skimpy costumes or groped by God.
Yeah.
Who is Haruhi Suzumiya, high school girl.
Yeah. Okay. So
my highlight from this episode is when they were looking, is when the girl who was a robot and an alien bought a mask at the summer festival that was a robot. And she was just like, I like it.
And then everyone was like, why did you buy that mask? It's like, I like this mask. And they were like, well, it probably resonates on a certain wavelength for an alien robot. Oh, do you remember that? What was
X-Files.
That was not X-Files. What are frogs?
I don't get it.
Oh, okay, never mind. Someone will get it.
Sure.
Someone, somewhere. Okay, so we're watching this thing that maybe a Groundhog Day-esque situation's about to occur.
I've said too much.
Okay, all right. But from the name of Endless 8, I was thinking, so it's 8 days that never end?
8 days a week by the Beatles.
8 days a week. Let's never reference the Beatles ever again.
This is going to be, they had to stop Haruhi Suzumiya from getting too into the Beatles because then she rewrote reality so that no one else had ever heard of them, and then she performed all of their music.
Oh, I get it now. The Endless 8.
Yeah, and that's Yesterday, starring that guy.
Oh, no.
Okay, we've got 50 seconds left of this chunk, Nick. What was your low light?
My low light was probably just going to be this guy being like, and then we did this, and then
the titular character, Kyon, who is a sort of cowardly centrist enabler of all of Haruhi Suzumiya's worst tendencies because he has a crush on the time traveler, Mikaru Asahina.
Yeah.
So he's like, I should probably stop her from physically assaulting her right now, but I'm kind of into it.
But she's just so lovely. Yeah, just him coming home being like, I did nothing. And that was it. That was the entire section. And I was like...
My low light was the close-ups on the big, gross cicadas.
But what about the Hercules beetle?
So is that a rare beetle or something?
I assume so.
Okay. Because,
I'm not going to check.
The robot caught it and was like, that's not a cicada. That's a Hercules beetle. It's flown away. I think they have them in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 8, Jojoligan. End of chunk.
We need to go now.
And we're back.
We're back in the room.
Episode 2, Time Loop Made Explicit.
Okay, so we're getting Groundhog Day.
We're getting start of season 2 of The Good Place.
where we're just here like, wait a second, we messed it up, let's do it again.
So this episode, it starts off much like the last, where they're just doing like boring summer activities. They go to the pool, blah, blah, blah. But our boy Kyon starts to notice that alien robot Nagato Yuki is looking increasingly suicidally depressed.
And she's like, yeah.
I mean, she's quiet, but at the best of times, she just likes to read her books. But she just looks really downcast and isn't participating. She's sitting off in like a shady portion of the pool, staring at her own knees.
And his response is, she has that bored look about her.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe it's more than bored, buddy. Maybe there's something to this.
And he keeps getting all this deja vu.
So I think when he wakes up, he's like, I thought I knew what she was about to say. But, deja vu is pretty common, right?
Interesting stylistic choice is that they all wear different outfits in the different loops, which I guess I appreciate.
You always need the perfect costume for the perfect summer vacation.
I guess.
And we're just going through all of them.
And then, like, halfway through summer, they realize, like, he gets called out to meet with the other special people at midnight. And so, like, oh, we've realized that this is a time loop and that we're stuck in time. No.
What was that?
I'm stuck in time.
So
that was Pink.
I think the crux of this is boils down to Nagato has been...
Who's an alien robot.
Who is an alien robot who talks to the thought entity that exists outside space and, more importantly, time.
Oh, time. That's the thing they're stuck in.
Yeah, that's the thing that they can't get out of. But she's not in there. So she's been experiencing this for the 15,498th time.
Yep. And that, like, they did the quick math on that, and that's like 600 years almost.
Almost, yeah. So
she's a bit bored.
Yeah, she's like, we've done the same fucking
She does, like, I want to see the loop where she does, like, the Groundhog Day, like, punch out the neighbor stuff.
Just being like, you know what, today's the day. I'm just going fucking nuts.
The Palm Springs movie I mentioned, the premise of that is that Andy Samberg's character has been stuck in the Groundhog Day loop for more time than he can remember.
And then someone else comes into the
Groundhog Day.
Yeah, no, you have told me about this. Yeah.
And he's just memorized, like, every aspect of the way things normally go. So there's, like, a bit in the start where he's, like, dancing with people and someone's about to, fall over and he just, like, puts a chair down underneath them as he's dancing.
Classic. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I want to see that. I think there's a bit in the, of course, in Groundhog Day, he learns to play the piano really, really well over the course of... I don't know, there's opportunity for fun with time loops, is I guess what I'm saying.
Yeah, and there's a lot of opportunity for Haruhi Suzumiya to abuse everyone in her path.
And you really got a feel for this alien robot because, I'm sure that this wouldn't have been the first time they've cracked this problem either. So she's like, now they're having the conversation where they figure out something's gone wrong.
And now we're talking about,
this is the bit where I tell them how many loops it's been. Nick, have you ever seen that episode of Doctor Who,
Nope.
Heaven Sent?
Nay.
That's a time loop episode starring Peter Capaldi. It's really good. It's just him basically bumbling around a spooky castle being chased by a ghost for 45 minutes.
Okay.
And then when you realise it's a time loop right at the end, there's like this big crystal wall that is between him and the TARDIS.
Right.
So at the end of every successful loop, he punches that wall once, breaks his hand, gets murdered by the ghost, and gets sent back to the start of the time loop. But the punch damage still remains. So over the course of like billions of years, he punches his way through solid rock.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah, it's a really good episode.
Oh, dude, that's dope. That's not happening here, though. We don't have a wall to punch
These
through.
fucking rubes, like, Nagato Yuki said that her role is to observe, so maybe she just refuses to help, but these fucking rubes have someone who exists outside the time loop, and they aren't even using her to send themselves messages in the next loop.
Well, the thing is, she said in this episode it's her job to observe.
Yeah, surely if you asked her, like, point blank, hey, can you tell me on day one what's going on?
Yeah, but, I mean, she'd probably just be like, I just need to see what happens this time, okay? I just need to see what's going on.
Like, that's what they did on The Good Place. Like, Janet in The Good Place is basically an alien robot, too.
Yeah.
And they hid a piece of paper in her mouth.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Guys, watch the first, I want to say, 2 seasons of The Good Place, and then check it out after that point if you're not feeling it, but that's good stuff.
It is good stuff. I think the ending was the perfect ending, and they got it just right.
I didn't love the last season.
No one did. But I think it was a perfect ending for what it was.
Nick, we've got to talk about the day that they spend doing part-time labour in big sweaty frog costumes.
So Haruhi Suzumiya gets them a part-time job in order to attain a big frog costume.
And what that part-time job is, putting these big stinky frog costumes on and handing out signs for the convenience store's sale.
Balloons in the first loop.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did I say?
signs.
Oh, holding signs.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just a whole lot of stuff that's
Yep.
going on to make money for this big...
She doesn't have to do it.
Yes, she's basically sucking down on an icy pole, talking with the manager, being like, oh, stop it.
Classic capitalist overclass, exploiting the labour, reaping the benefits, getting the frog costume for your school club.
Adding nothing to the economy whatsoever.
Unacceptable.
Terrible.
Not my god.
Wow. Okay, okay, now, Liam, let's just hold back a bit, okay? There are things we're going to regret saying here.
Nah.
Oh, okay, fair enough. So yeah, she's just like, here you go. We did this part-time job for my desire to have this frog costume. Oh, by the way, you can wear it whenever you want, Hirahi, who?
Hirahi Yumimima.
The other one.
Mikuru Asahina.
That one.
the time
Asahina,
traveler.
yes.
So I really liked the scene where Psychic Boy, whose name I consistently forget.
Sayonji.
No.
That's
from Revolutionary Girl Lieutenant.
Zoltan.
Where he is like standing up and doing like backlit by the street lights, doing his like dramatic monologue about how we've been unstuck from time and blah, 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 blah. Because, like his this is like one of the few like characterization choices in this show that I actually think is pretty cool. Like it's repeatedly alluded to but never made explicit that like that smiling simp persona is not his true personality. And I think you can see like a glimpse of who he really is in that little bit, and I think it's neat.
Where it's just like, why are you so cheerful? It's like, well, now I know why I'm not just getting deja vu. It's actually a time loop.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
That's good
Now
characterization.
I know why I'm not just getting deja vu.
Yeah. So we have an entirety of 2 minutes left.
Okay, highlights and lowlights.
My highlight is probably Nagato being like, this is the 15,498th time, because I was like, oh.
She bought an Ultraman mask this time.
Yeah. It was
Which
good
is, of
stuff.
course, a tokusatsu franchise.
Power Ranger-esque thing.
Big Ultraman man puts on
Big Ultraman mask.
suit and gets huge and fights kaiju.
Just like me.
Just like me.
Bam.
Guys, we didn't want to tell you like this, but we are the guys who you keep seeing on the news fighting giant monsters.
Like, I know that
We're
this...
drift compatible.
This is coming as a surprise to many of you, but the ones who knew who we were from the start...
They know. The real heads know.
Yeah.
This podcast is how we pilot the mech.
Anyway.
We're doing it right now.
Highlight, Liam.
I just got hit by a poisonous tentacle.
Liam, we need your highlight
My
now.
highlight, it's the we're in a time loop conversation.
With what's-his-face revealing his true nature.
My low light is this loop was a lot hornier than the last one.
Yeah, my low light is probably just the fact that not time travel guy, that psychic guy was like, yeah, we're on the rooftop. You should tell her that you love her. I couldn't possibly do it.
Yeah, he's got that Troy McClure fish fetish. He's like, no, I lack a certain something.
You know how it is. You know how it is when you got those psychic powers. You talk to the fish, you feel the fish. You know the fish. You don't know people, though.
Wait, you're sending me to a universe where it's Planet of the Apes, but a musical?
You know it, baby.
So he's also kind of a lame psychic because he can't use his psychic powers in the real world.
What?
Because when she's gonna remake the universe, that happens by like pocket dimensions being created, and his power allows him to enter those pocket dimensions and like try to resist what's going on. And he
Okay.
can fly and shoot beams and shit in there, but he can't do jack in the day-to-day.
Oh, okay. That's super fucking weird. But you know what else is super weird?
What?
We don't have time for anything else. We got to go back and watch more shit.
I think we've got another 40 seconds.
Well, in that case.
In that case, Nick, what's your darkest secret?
So yesterday, when I was
I killed a man.
yesterday when I was lying in bed and thinking to myself, man, this fold-out bed really isn't cutting it.
I wish this podcast would last forever.
Oh no!
Feels like it's going to.
Actually, you know what my darkest secret probably is?
2 out of 6.
I really liked Ultramarines, the movie.
That's, I'm assuming, a Warhammer thing?
Correct. A Warhammer 40,000 movie written by Dan Abnett, who wrote Eisenhorn, which is very good.
All right, more on that next time.
Oh no!
All right,
We're in.
3 out of 8.
So,
How you feeling?
we just watched the same episode.
Yeah.
A second time.
So between the first and second episode, I thought it was neat that we were seeing broadly the same scenes, but like different perspectives on them. Some moments that we brushed over the first time and given more attention the second time. We just did that exact same, the time loop is happening conversation, almost word for word.
Yeah, literally every single scene was the same.
Yeah.
Like, it was just different costumes, maybe like a tiny difference in mask choice.
I mean,
clothing.
I knew what we were in for, but
Now, I'm curious, when this was released, was the fan base like, what the fuck is this?
as I understand it, yeah, especially with these episodes coming out week after week,
Yeah, were they just like,
tear your fucking hair out.
yeah, oh, it would just be like, okay, I get it. It's the time loop.
And I know that this must be like the most authentic time loop bit of media ever published, particularly watching it on a week-to-week basis, just for impressing upon the viewer the sheer repetition of that situation. Because I've yet to see anything that dictates that this needs to be 8 episodes, right?
Well, the thing
You
is,
could do this in 2 to 3 tops.
yeah, but the thing is, like, I just love that, like, when I told you, oh man, really glad we didn't see the other 15,498, you were like, oh
baby.
Nick. So,
So you had a few things you wanted to raise.
well, the first one was, when it came out, was the fan base just like, fuck this. Are you again?
Yeah, pretty much.
Again. Are you kidding me?
And of course, the episodes are titled Endless 8 Part 1 through 8 or whatever. Though I don't believe they share those episode titles in the show at all. So you don't know how much longer this is going to happen for.
Oh my god.
Is this just your life now?
This is just who we are. This is what we are in for. I think you can reveal to me now, is it just the same episode 8 times?
Broadly?
Dear mother
at a
of
certain
fuck.
point they've got to arrive at a solution, right?
I mean, that's not how time loops work.
I mean, the show keeps going after this, so they've got to get out of it.
Do they?
Yep.
Okay.
Nick, you evolved a theory during that episode about what the solution will be.
Yes.
Care to share?
Okay, so there's 2 things that could happen here. One is that she looks at the list and goes, oh, I've reserved tomorrow, but we can just take the
On
day
the last
off.
day, she's always like, oh yeah, we've done enough. Had a
Yeah.
day set aside for the last day of summer, but day off, everyone.
So it has to be something to do with that. And there was something that was said
The
at
other thing you
start.
mentioned was when protagonist Kyon is talking about his summer homework, and Haruhi says, oh, you can do all that in 3 days. I did it all right at the start, so I can enjoy my summer.
Yes.
You theorized to me that, in fact, she has not done it.
She's hiding it.
In fact, she's worried about not having done her school homework.
Exactly. And
If
she's
only
like,
I had more time.
ironically, she has all the time in the universe.
How you feeling, Nick?
Have we signed up
Nick, are you
for?
familiar with the Tabata model of exercise?
The what?
Tabata.
As in, like, I wish to barter with you, sir.
No.
My good
Sweet,
man.
simple Nicholas.
I wish to barter with you my back pain for one yoga ball.
No, it is a workout model in which you do like 8 20-second sets with a 10-second
Forever.
with a 10-second rest between them.
Okay.
So that takes 4 minutes.
Okay.
That's 8 sets. We are through the 3rd set. And these 10-minute breaks between the purgatory of watching Endless 8
my
are all
God.
we have to sustain us.
Oh god, this reminds me of what's that show where they have a time loop for one episode and they get
so
out
many shows.
and they get out after that episode. They're like, wow, really glad we didn't have to be stuck in that for too long. This feels like that, except
There was a kids show called, I want to say, like Mighty Max or something like that,
Okay.
in which, because like it was kind of a faux pas to give your cartoon show a definitive ending in that era,
Yeah.
so that like you wouldn't detract from reruns and more profit, because capitalism inevitably compromises all art.
of course.
The end of the last episode was them being like, oh no, we've lost. We need to go back in time and lose our memories back to the start of the first episode so we can do the whole show again and hope we win next time.
What?
And that was just the end of the show.
Wow. So the whole show was a
Time loop.
a big time loop.
Yep.
Wow.
Kind of a downer ending.
That's a bit fucked. But we're not here to talk about fucks, all right? We're here to talk about highlights, lowlights, and then we have to preserve our sanity.
We're
best
here to wish
can.
we were talking about Revolutionary Girl
Oh
Lieutenant.
my god, I wish Choo Choo was here to save the day.
Friend of the show, Georgie, is messaging me while we were watching these episodes because she started watching it, being like, this is better than Jojo.
And we're like, oh man,
My low light this episode was actually my highlight in the previous episode. The we're stuck in a time loop conversation.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't as interesting watching it beat for beat the second time. Although I was half expecting that when they asked Robot Girl Nagato Yuki how many loops they'd done for it to be a drastically higher number. And that's like in that Doctor Who time loop I mentioned. There's a bit where he looks at the night sky and with his like genius brain calculates how many years in the future he must be from when he expected because of the movement of the stars.
Yeah.
And like when they start doing like quick loop montages, it goes like 10 million, 10 billion years in the future, etc. Just like getting to drastically astronomical numbers.
Get it? Astronomical?
No, I don't understand.
Because space.
My highlight.
Yep.
My highlight is the bit where they're at the pool. And Haruhi Suzumiya kicks a pool ball right into Mikuru Asahina's face.
I thought it was some random, like, bystander that they then go, oh my god, I'm so sorry.
No.
Oh.
It's the girl who all the bad things happen to.
Oh, poor Asahina.
Highlights, lowlights, Nick.
My highlight is probably going to have to be... Oh, God.
It's all just melging into one grey paste.
I know. So my low light is going to have to be the time loop where Nagato is just like, this is the 15,499th time. Because I also wanted it to be a drastically higher number. But we didn't get it.
Do you think the first episode was the first go-round we watched?
No.
Because Yuki was pretty well adjusted in that one.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think there was probably...
Okay. It was well in, but before they realised...
Yeah.
Things were amiss.
Yeah. But then again, did he talk about deja vu in that one?
No.
Maybe not.
Not that I remember.
And then highlight... What was my highlight in the last loop? What's happening anymore? Okay, so maybe I would say the highlight would just have to be Nagato saying, oh, we've only gone one forward. Because that was the only different part of this episode.
That was your low light as well.
Yes. That was the only difference in this episode.
That made you feel.
I was like, the whole time I was like, so something different's going to happen here. No. Okay, well, maybe in the next bit, something different.
And there's this bit at the end of both the last one and this one where they're all in the cafe and Haruhi's getting up to leave, being like, see you at school on Monday. And then he's like the world is closing in around Kyo. He's like, I have to say something or do something. Otherwise, we're just going to do it all over again.
Didn't do it.
Haruhi's pretty self-absorbed to not notice that after like one of these 2 weeks, all of her friends just become super stressed and despondent.
Well, I just love that, like, at the end, every single time, it's like, does anyone else have anything they want to add on to the list? And all of them are just looking down, being like...
There was one moment in episode 2 that just made us laugh out loud, where, like, Kyung looked down at the list and, like, his eyes narrowed so seriously. It's like, I'm gonna kill you.
It's like, is there anything anyone wants to add? Let me have a look.
I know what must need be done. Pulls out gun.
I think I want to have the best summer holiday I've ever had. This is my serial killer montage that's happening now.
Okay, I think either he's gonna do the homework thing that you said, or he's gonna like...
Wait, are we talking about Kyon?
Yeah.
The main character that no one likes?
Yeah. Because they've got like very light, like high school crush tension.
Very light.
And there's like a climax of a previous episode where she doesn't destroy the world because in the world's dying dream he kisses her. So I think it's going to be like, hey Haruhi, I'll see you, do you want to go out after school on Monday? Or something like that, so that she's looking forward to it.
Right.
And then summer ends.
And he'll be like, yeah, see you on Monday. And it's like, oh, I will see you on Monday.
Yeah.
Yes. Except...
That'll show that fucking treacherous god.
Oh my god. So, I am still enjoying watching this right now.
Well, we're less than halfway through.
And I'm just I'm concerned. I'm real concerned.
The wheels are starting to come off in my brain, to be honest.
Let's just say that the spokes of time
And I'm not allowing
breaking.
myself to look at my phone, because that's against the spirit of the game.
Yeah, no. Every time you're like, here we go again.
Here we go again.
Oh, speaking of here we go again.
Hello.
Oh, what? Hello there. I didn't see you in this time loop.
There. I did not see you come in. Why don't you sit down and I'll tell you a story about a little girl called Haruhi Suzumiya.
No, please. No, I've been watching like an hour of this.
Nick, we're halfway.
We're halfway through the marathon.
Halfway through. So, significant event in this episode is the symbol of a
paper plane?
Paper plane, or possibly a biplane in a movie. Something like that has become a significant symbol of escaping from the time loop. As it keeps showing up silhouetted against the clear blue sky as Kyon, like, desperate, is like, I'm sure she said something that can help me get out of this. And then he draws it at the end on his undone
homework.
schoolwork.
Yeah.
And also, I'm pretty sure there was just a second long flash of that in that, like, really quick clip, bunch of clips, and that significant symbol.
Yes.
Of her whispering something in his ear.
Something like that.
Yeah, so that's probably it.
But what could it be?
Okay, Nick, few things we raised during this one.
Yes.
My good strat for how to deal with time loops, particularly when you have someone who has perfect knowledge of the time loops but won't otherwise help you.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, the first thing you do is you figure out exactly what you need to say and do so that you have a free day.
Okay.
You know, whether it's calling in sick for work, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
There's an optimum solution for that, and you figure it out through trial and error, and you consistently take it.
Okay.
Then
There.
you take as many days as you want to master as many skills as you want, because they'll serve you well when you get out into the real world.
Okay. This is not anything to do with escaping the loop.
You grind your stats for a bit,
A bit. Well, like millennia.
however long it takes,
Yeah.
to reach a point you're happy with.
Yeah. Okay. And then what?
Then you start turning your mind to solutions.
Okay.
And you speak to the person who has perfect recall of all the loops. You apologize for making them wait all those extra loops while you were learning to play the piano or
And
whatever.
then they like slap you in the face and go, you would, wouldn't you?
Then while she's explaining that you've done this 15,413 times or whatever, we skipped a few loops between last episode and this one.
We did.
Once you've had that conversation, you ask her how many times we've realised this is going on and had this conversation, and that's a barometer for how your progress has been.
And just be like, okay.
And then while you are trying to come up with solutions to get the capricious drama kid god that you serve to try and undo this time loop,
Okay.
you ask your computer friend with perfect recall to tell you every time you do something you haven't tried before. Or haven't done before. Because then you at least have a means of measuring progress, right?
I guess so. But she isn't going to do that, is she?
What do you mean?
Well, her whole thing was, I can only observe.
She talks to them. She told them how many times they've done loops.
Yeah, but they have to ask them the question first.
Yeah.
So if you go back in time and you've lost all your memories, you're not going to remember.
That's not what I'm saying.
You're saying she has to actively tell you
Nick,
things.
I'm saying that this kind of strategizing is core to my being. I'll independently come up with it every time.
So you'll hear. Okay, so the
I'm in a
deja
time
vu.
loop. Okay. But I have someone who has perfect memory of the loops. Okay, so she can tell me if I've tried, how many times I've tried particular things before. We can work out a strat.
What if nothing works?
Well, then, like, it's a fool's errand anyway. I suppose the problem with this sort of time looping, as opposed to a Groundhog Day style, is that it does really put a crimp in your ability to learn new skills.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you get really good at catching cicadas, right?
No, you don't.
What do you
We
mean?
saw their cicada things this episode, and it was, like, all the same.
As the first loop.
Yeah, Haruhi wins, Kyon and what's-his-face have, like, fine amounts. Mikuru has none, and Nagado's not even trying anymore. She just has the Hercules beetle.
Yeah, she's just got that sweet, sweet beetle.
Yeah.
So she's learning, but
Yeah.
no one else is.
But she's already the best at everything, because she just downloads it like in the Matrix.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Shit. It's the perfect struggle.
It's also for her, because she's like, she reads books, that's her character trait.
Yeah.
And in their club room, it used to be the Literature Club's club room, and she was the only member.
Ah, I see. I see.
So it's a bit like that Twilight Zone thing, where it's like, oh, there was time now, where she's probably read all the books now.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of reading all the books, highlights and lowlights.
Okay. What happened this episode? Oh, my highlight was the close-up of a dog we got at the summer festival.
Correct.
It was just a shot of a dog we haven't seen before.
Yep. I think my highlight is probably going to be that Kyon had to be told to check his phone this time before he actually checked it, which I was like, oh, that's fun.
What are you talking about? Which
So
bit?
his sister, I assume it's his sister.
You said when we were watching that happens every time.
That doesn't happen every time because it
That's
rang.
what you said, though.
No, it rings, and then she says, your phone is ringing, and then he answers it.
Yeah.
But this time, it rang, he didn't answer it, and then it went away. And it was like, oh, he didn't answer the phone. And then it started ringing again, and then she went, hey, your phone's ringing. It's like, you don't have to tell me.
I'm trying to watch. Hey, brother, I'm watching the game here.
I'm watching the game,
Turn up
punk.
that fucking racket.
That's a thing.
That's a thing. Yeah. Okay, who is your favourite?
What about the lowlights?
Oh, who gives a shit?
The rest, it's the same.
Yeah, it's all the same. It's all just a grey sludge of content.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this is screeching away.
Oh god.
Listen, we can't lose time because we're doing 10-minute blocks. So
we're moving this, okay? We're moving the whole setup forward, I
there
guess.
we go.
All right.
Nick, you can still cut silences and noise when you edit this.
Never. What were you about to say?
Who's your favourite of this squad?
Nagato. We know this.
Oh, okay. Why?
Because she... Okay, so Haruhi annoys me in that she basically doesn't care about anyone except herself.
She's a high-functioning psychopath.
Yep. Kyon, same sort of deal, doesn't care about anyone except himself, but in a very different way.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, oh, come on, buddy.
But Kyon, you've got depression.
Koizumi?
Ah, that's his name.
Koizumi
It always
is...
just goes in one ear and out the other.
Yep, Koizumi is just like, hey, you've heard a lot from me this ep, but let me just re-explain.
We've had a lot of fun here tonight, but I think we're stuck in a time loop.
Yeah, and then you're just like, no, not again. So he's really dragging down for me.
Mm-hmm. And Mikaru is waifu fetish bait.
Exactly. So Nagato, overall, best girl.
Best person.
Best human.
Even though she's not a human.
Well, yeah, not human, I guess. Yeah. Alien robot being.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that. Mm-hmm. Why? Who's your favourite character?
Also,
we need to just point out, every episode you've been like, second day, bad costume in the store from Kyon.
Yeah, Kyon's clothes while they go yukata shopping suck. But I'll find this episode.
Yeah, this episode you were okay
Koizumi's crushing it. I hate Koizumi, but I think he's my favourite.
Koizumi has a fashion sense that you align with deeply.
Got a French tuck going on in one episode.
And you were like, oh, French tuck.
Respect.
And I
Hard
was
to
like,
pull off sometimes, but he's working it.
And I was like, is it? You were like, yes, of course.
Yeah, you got to pair it with the right belt. Otherwise, there's just no point.
Hardcore.
What?
Just hardcore. You have to...
You are.
No. The look. Wait, hang on a fucking second here.
Which one of these people do you think would beat Utena in a sword fight?
No one.
Nagato, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, Nagato probably wouldn't, yeah. Or maybe, what's her name? Hikaru?
Mikaru. Why?
Because she would just time travel to the future, learn how to do sword fighting, then time travel
I don't think that's how that works.
Well, like, how does she
Every
do
now
it?
and then an older version of her shows up. That's like 20.
Oh, okay.
And she's like, I remember the time we spent together. And she doesn't really contribute.
So is this more like a curious case of Benjamin Button sort of thing?
No, there's no time travel in that.
Is it more like a Looper situation?
Oh, yeah, the younger version of herself who looks older comes back from the future.
Oh, man.
It's like a Tenet situation. I haven't seen Tenet.
I haven't seen Tenet either. But I imagine it has some form of backwards.
It's got like people who go forwards and backwards in time.
Yeah, but it's like, it's not forwards and backwards in time. It's just that thing happens in reverse.
I think some people are normal people and some people are Merlins in it.
Merlin?
Yeah, Merlin famously experienced time backwards.
So
and
Benjamin
that's 10
Button.
minutes.
What? Oh, no.
Oh, I know it's now. We have one more minute.
What do you mean we have one more minute? Oh, God.
Okay, so
Hello,
Benjamin
listener.
Button didn't experience time backwards. He just aged backwards. That's very different. Merlin, like, remembered things
From the future?
Remembered things from the future and forgot things in the past because they hadn't happened for him yet.
Right, I see. So, are you telling me that what was it, a BBC show?
I mean, they didn't do it in that show.
Yeah, I was going to say, that one got it so very wrong. And
I'm sure because it's like myth and folklore that like there are different, it's like probably inconsistent.
I mean, no, hang on. If we're talking Merlin, we're talking Merlin. And if there's one thing I know about Merlin.
The magical puppy.
Exactly.
Claymation kids show in which a dog had some sort of magical wishing collar.
And if there's one thing...
So the hijinks he got into.
If there's one thing I want to say...
Arson Sam?
Arson Sam?
Yeah, it's a sort of adult parody of Fireman Sam. Okay, and we're done.
Okay.
Where they do it backwards, so it looks like he keeps starting fires.
It's time to
5 out of 8.
We're in. We're
over halfway.
We're getting there.
I'm getting a little punch drunk.
We're feeling the exhaustion and the endurance.
Yep. This is why we have trained for this moment. We are professionals in the peak of our physical fitness.
This might be the easiest thing we've actually ever done, to be fair. It's like, I have to talk for 10 minutes after an episode of anime? Oh, that's rough.
But at the same time, in a certain sense, we are also talking for an hour and 20 minutes about one episode of anime.
with very subtle variations that actually don't matter.
So I was saying to you while watching it, the way that you could do this in so many fewer episodes, but would also be less psychically damaging to the viewer in the same way that the knowledge of the loop is psychically damaging to the participants, would be by having the same conversations. And I feel like they kind of did this a bit towards the end of the episode, having the same conversations about, oh, we're trapped in the loop, we're doing the thing, and then at the end with the, oh, she's going away, I need to say one more thing to break the time loop moment. But maybe have some dialogue, some lines repeat itself before the conversation keeps going, but then just like have some sort of physical transition or maybe just a quick cut. And they're wearing different outfits, but keeping the same conversation going.
Yeah, except in this one, they were just wearing the same outfits in the last discussion.
Yeah.
Which is like, I get it.
Kyon wearing just a crime against fashion, pairing what appeared to be a...
high vision jacket.
I'm going to say lime green polo shirt, along with underneath that, a black collared shirt for that classic two-collared look that we all know and love.
Now, I have nothing against it, but you...
Well, I'm
really
a fashionista.
That's true, and I don't understand fashion. So, together, we sort of have a nice happy medium of it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, it's just bad.
Okay, what happened this time? What happened this episode, Nick? Highlights? Overall opinions.
So, there was an actual conversation with Nagato? Kind of? Almost-ish?
There was a moment that we hadn't really seen before when they were doing the test of courage in the graveyard at night to place the doll on the piece of paper that I assume they'd left there during the day.
Yeah.
And he was like, so, you remember all the loops, huh? And she was like, yep.
So why don't you tell us if you know it's going to happen?
Don't wanna.
Why not?
Shrug.
Oh, you're an observer. Okay, gotcha. Well, that's just fine. That answers that question.
Yep. See, the problem, the psychic difficulty I'm having with talking about this episode over and over again versus, and of course, Tim Batt and Guy Montgomery of The Worst Idea of All Time are professional comedians and much funnier than I am. But the fun that they can have with it, I feel like we're a bit hamstrung from, because they're able to like watch grown-ups too and come out with like outlandish theories about a certain character being a warlock.
Sure.
But in our show, they're already like fucking aliens and shit. So.
But what if they're just perfectly normal? What if there's no God?
They're all just fucking con artists.
There actually
We're all going to gaslight this Rube in our high school class.
Yeah. See, the thing is, there's actually no Nagato. She's like a Tyler Durden. Yeah, exactly. And so this entire time, Kyon's just been having these
spiraling.
Yeah.
He needs to go to therapy.
I feel like
men will literally
us.
Get trapped in a time loop 15,000 times rather than go to therapy.
Too real. But yeah, no, I think that was basically the one thing that was different. Ooh, and a good shot at the end where it was ticking down the time.
So first it's a close-up on his watch, tick, 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 and then a close-up on him at his desk, and in time with the ticks, the camera is rotating as if it is, I guess, attached to the second hand of a clock.
Well, I thought it was the clock on his desk, not his watch.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
A clock.
None of it matters. We're all just going to do it again.
We are. God, we are.
Let's kind of apply that to philosophy to working life as well.
We should watch Moral Oral. It's a show about a kid who's trying to be very moral.
Before we get sidetracked.
Oh, okay, yes.
And then the last shot of the episode is literally the last like 30 to 40 seconds of the day, just watching the clock tick down to not the final second of the day, but the next to final second of the day.
The penultimate moment of time.
1 second to midnight, doomsday clock. But we'll never reach there. We're in that time loop.
Yeah.
So I guess you could say that Haruhi Suzumiya is the only one averting total nuclear destruction. And we stan her for that.
Man, she's actually an upstanding citizen. There you go.
Yeah.
Good on you,
We
Haruhi.
should worship her as a god.
I will do no such thing.
You were saying about Moral Oral.
Yeah, Moral Oral.
I don't know
because
this program.
It's an Adult Swim show, very cynical, where it just has
Adult
a bit.
Swimical.
Yeah, it just has a bit in
Hire
it.
me.
Hire me, Adult Swimical.
Yeah, hire me, Adult Swim, to come up with your terrible marketing slogan, Adult Swimical.
Hey guys, welcome to.
It's not cynical. It's Adult Swimical. Hi, I'm Dr. Venture.
Have you seen the Broom Shuckalaka thing?
Broom Shuckalaka.
Yeah. I'll link it to you later. It's fine. The point being, there's a show where a guy has a mental breakdown about work being the same thing over and over and over again. That's it.
Okay.
That was the link that I was getting to. But we don't
what
have
happens
time.
as a result of his mental breakdown?
Well, he just leads a sad...
What else are we going to talk about, Nick?
Well, he
don't
just
have
leads...
time. Fuck you.
He just has a sad and unfulfilling life.
And there's no inciting incident or...
I mean, he had a kid called Oral.
Is the kid moral?
Well, he tries to be.
Don't we all?
Yeah. And then he finds out that religion is a hack. So, yeah.
What do you mean?
As in, he realizes, maybe I am doing the right thing by God by doing the wrong thing. You know what I mean?
No.
Okay, never mind. It doesn't matter. Anyway, highlights and lowlights?
Highlights and lowlights. What happened in this episode? Well, they went to the pool.
My highlight was the graveyard because it's where I felt most at home.
It's kind of new.
Yeah, kind of, I guess.
Yep.
But I also did enjoy that we got reminded, she's not going to help us. It's like,
yeah.
Cool. All right.
She's the one who's suffering the most, but she's not going to help.
Yep. She's here to observe, nothing else.
Mm-hmm. Your little... what is she like?
Robot alien?
No, but what is her role equivalent to?
Bystander?
Yeah, she's like a friggin'
pacifist?
Bystander effect. She's a coward. She's not a comrade.
She's not a comrade.
No, she's a
capitalist.
She's the Democrats.
She's the Democrats.
Yeah. She's the Labour Party, whose role seems to be to vote with the government and then complain about the legislation that they voted for.
Yikes. Oh, man.
They literally did that this past week, so I'm not just making this up.
Oh, no. But what's your highlight, Liam?
Let's say no dogs in this one.
It's a tough one this time. It's a tough loop.
I don't think you should be allowed to blow up goldfish with fireworks, just personally speaking.
I do love that you were like, I don't know how I feel about these goldfish this episode. And then we just went right back into the silence of, oh God, it's the same.
Nick, you said something that made me laugh very hard.
When he's drawing the 8.
Oh yeah, so he was drawing an 8 on their to-do list for the summer, but it's also an infinity sign on the side. And Haruhi's like, hey, no doodling on my important to-do list. And then you said something, what did you say?
Get it?
Oh yeah.
That was
just
it.
Just like the simple, sludge-brained browbeatenness of our mental states while we're watching that episode. I laughed so hard at that.
This is like when you're at RF LAN, the 24-hour LAN festival that is held at Curtin Uni.
Okay.
That they basically book out a giant stadium where you go in.
Sorry, I'm a jock. I don't go to those sort of things.
You go in and it's like this massive amphitheater.
You can tell I'm a jock because of my anime podcast.
Where we're watching Haruhi Suzumiya.
Yeah. The pervert anime for fascists.
So they put you in this big room. There's hundreds of people in the same room at this LAN. It's awesome. But by about hour 16, you just kind of don't know what reality is anymore.
You've entered into that liminal space between wakingness and dreams and video games.
There was a year where we bought Super Wagon Adventure, or whatever it's called.
Oh, that's like Extreme Oregon Trail?
Yeah, and we were all like, this game is incredible. This is the greatest game ever. For 4 hours.
Oh, God.
And that was at 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. And then afterwards we were like, are we gonna keep going? Or
See, that's why I really like 24-hour comedy experiences, because around that 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. period, that's where things just get messy.
Yeah. See, there's a great one at Fringe where you get $1 back for every hour that you stay there.
I've done that.
And I didn't get through it at all.
Oh, okay. I went for a couple of hours post-midnight one year, and that was enough for me, but it was the sort of stuff I was craving.
It's the nightmare fuel that we all want, where you're just like, hey, so who are you? It's like, I'm a comedian. It's like, are you? Oh, God.
And I watched Graham Clark do 24 hours of stand-up comedy once. And around 3 a.m., most of his writers had gone to sleep, so we were just tweeting him things to say. And I tweeted... It's not going to make sense in context, but something I tweeted at him that made him laugh was, imagine the end of E.T., but you follow E.T. back to his home planet, and all the other E.T.s have normal human proportions and are super ripped. And that's time.
Oh, God.
And we're back.
Hello.
We took a bit of a break, had some food.
Yep, but
cheeky Nando's.
It didn't really help much.
Didn't help. There was a moment between ending the last episode and coming in here to record where we thought we had one more episode to go than we did. So 3 episodes rather than 2. And I felt the true weight of despair on my shoulders.
You literally just went, wait.
I went, no.
Wait, no. It was not good, but we're getting there.
We're getting there. We're making prog.
We're almost through.
Nothing is happening.
Literally nothing is happening.
I turned to you when they were all sitting forlorn in the cafe on the last day of summer this episode. I turned to you and I said, they're not even suggesting things. They've been through this loop 15,000 times. They know she's not satisfied with the way summer ends, and they're not even suggesting other things to do next day.
They keep losing their memories, you know?
But they know the situation by that point. They can ask Yuki what they've done before then and try new things.
But she's not going to respond. She's just an observer.
Yes, she is. She's answering their questions.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, they could just ask her. But, you know, there's no reason for that to happen.
There's no reason for anything.
It's true.
It's just 2 weeks. We can do that again.
Yeah, we can just do another.
Don't mind that our robot friend is slowly losing her mind.
She's just buying masks. She's just buying masks.
And keeping them.
And, like, spiders and stuff.
Yeah, okay, we got to talk about the beverage situation.
Yeah, okay. Well, there's 3 things. One is the prefectural baseball game.
Yep, we keep forgetting to talk about the prefectural baseball team, where K-Team is playing someone else.
And our boy Kyon keeps betting on the losing side.
Not betting, but
you know, he's rooting for them.
You love an underdog.
Yep, and that's it. That's the prefectural baseball
then he
game.
gets interrupted by the start of the loop.
Yep.
Every time.
Every goddamn time.
Fucking time. The other thing is that in one of the cafe scenes, we saw that Nagata Yuki had a spider,
like as in like
or
Coke
an
with
American
ice cream
might call
in it.
that like a soda float
Oh,
or something like
yeah,
that, a
something
root
like
beer
that.
float.
Yeah, something like that, where it's like
It's a spider.
Yeah.
It's a soda pop. It's a Coca-Cola. It's a Sprite. It's a Fanta. It's got a big
creamy
dollop
soda.
of creamy ice cream in it.
ooh,
And
love
it
it.
fizzes, and it's too sugary for me at my old age.
Wow. I mean, I'll try it out again, but I don't know. Eating that ice cream with a straw seems like a bad idea.
As the famous meme post goes, talking about that sort of drink, someone from Australia responds, in Australia, we call that a spider. And then someone else responds, everything in fucking Australia is a spider.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do have a lot of spiders.
Yeah. I'm losing my mind, Liam. I'm
Your
losing
top
my mind.
Australian spiders, Nick.
Daddy Longlegs.
Not technically a spider, but
The-
only capitalist pig dogs will tell you that.
Huntsman's a good spider.
Huntsman, that's a classic Australian
They
spider.
jump at you and they're all like, be my friend.
Yeah, mad respect to the Australian redback spider.
Oh, redback's terrifying.
They'll kill you.
What about funnel web?
Funnel web makes a sort of funnel web.
Ah, like Spider-Man.
And I understand it's very deadly.
Tarantulas are always fun to encounter in the
Australian
wild.
spiders.
Yeah. Bird eaters. I believe the bird-eating
Christmas
spider.
spider.
That was the Christmas
That's
spider.
those like sort of gnarly ones that you see around Christmas time. They're
Gnarly?
like horned carapaces
What?
on their abdomens.
What the hell are you talking about?
Spiders. You'll have seen them. You know them. They're spiders. You love them.
They're in your house.
Yeah, they're in your brain.
If you haven't seen
You
them,
eat so many of them in your sleep a
Oh,
year.
that's not
And they
true.
drink from your eyes.
they drink from your eyes.
So I've heard told.
Oh my god, that's not true.
So, the spider of Haruhi Spider Miser.
So Nagato is still in a perpetual hell.
So there was this moment in this episode, it's my highlight and my low light,
Okay.
where it's the classic moment in every loop where Kyon momentarily gets worried about Nagato
this.
Yuki.
Can I have this as my highlight and low light as well? Yep.
Chases after her, stops her in the street to ask her if she's okay, then being like, oh, never mind, goodbye. But this time, rather than turning and walking away himself, he rides up to her on his bike and says, are you okay? And she says, I'm fine. And then there's a long, silent,
And
still shot.
You hear him thinking in his own mind. Normally he'd be walking away at this point saying, why did I talk to her? But right now he's just standing there thinking that.
I think, no, at this point, I think it's just silence.
And then there's a
And then he
huge
just says,
silence.
He says, you can go now. and then she turns and walks away.
I wish I could end all conversations like that. You know, if I was like hanging out with my friends and I'm just in their house, I'm like,
Yeah, that's how I'm going to end all my podcasts with Nick from now on. You can go now, Nick.
you can go now. Listener, you can go now.
No, I like having listeners.
Oh, okay, fair enough. You can never leave, listener.
But you can check out anytime you like.
Oh no, that's not what they're signing up for now.
Patreon.com/Jojo as well.
You're in or you're out. Never in between.
Okay, they had the conversation about the
How else do we
truth
string this
of the
out?
matter.
The truth of the matter?
Yeah, that they're in the time loop.
Yeah.
And this time,
It was much speedier than before.
yeah, Mikuru keeps talking about the classified information that she can't share, and she likes to check in with the future, but she can't tell how because it's classified information.
Classified information.
And then she figured out that she lost contact with the future because of classified information.
I wonder if that's something that you can't say on TV.
So yeah, Kyon keeps making this joke, and I think it's just because he's super horny for her.
Yeah, and he's like, is this because it's something that you can't say on TV?
Because we're on TV.
TV?
Huh?
You know, if we weren't on TV, you know what I would do to a time traveler? You know?
Crimes.
Yeah, time crimes.
Some crimes, as seen in Tenet, we assume.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
so Benjamin Button, he doesn't travel backwards in time.
He just ages backwards. Right, I get that, but at the same time, it's still a form of time travel.
No, it's not.
Yeah, because he's
It's
aging.
the same sort of time travel that everyone does.
Yeah, we're all time travelers.
No, we're not.
Well, touche. Yeah, I don't know how we can possibly get through another episode.
Well,
of
we
this.
have to, because it's our blessing and our curse.
Yeah, true. This is our gift to you.
Next
listener.
episode, I'll share some of the research that I did while we were getting lunch into why.
i.e. the walk that we had.
Yep, but I'll spoil it for you right now. I do not have any answers.
Oh,
I
God.
have no concrete answers.
'Cause
Nick,
all-
do you have any questions for me about this show in general?
Okay, did people just stop watching after this season?
I told you I haven't watched season 2.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, did the
Do you have
fan
any-
base just die
I don't
off?
know. I'm not a member of anime fan communities.
But
you know this
but do
about
you know
me.
if...
Do you have any questions for me about the content of the show?
Is season 1 better?
Well, it's definitely better than the same episode 8 times in a row.
Yeah.
It's a low bar to clear.
It's true.
There's an interesting moment where it turns out that the smart popular class president is also one of these alien robots and
Oh.
tries to kill Kyon.
Oh.
Because she's like, I'm so sick of just observing for data, so I think I'll murder you and see what data that generates.
Oh, okay.
And
That's
then Yuki saves him with magic and kills that other one.
right. Which one's Yuki?
The robot.
Yuki Robot Nagato.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I think there's a subsequent arc that deals with the mental fallout on Nagato for having gone through all these loops.
I mean, that's understandable enough. I feel like I am experiencing that mental fallout right now, so
Oh, man.
holy shit.
Tim and Guy make this look so easy. I mean, they don't. They're constantly saying, like, oh, this was a hard one today.
This was a difficult decision we had to make whether to do the podcast or not, but you know what? We did it. And they make money from it, I assume.
I assume.
Do they not make money off
They
of
have
that?
ads.
Okay, so they definitely make money off it. They have an income for watching the same
They're
thing
also
every
professional
time.
comedians, so it's just like part of their brand, you know?
Yeah, true. Imagine trying to make jokes when the only thing that you've done every day for the last week has been watch the same fucking movie.
That's not what they do.
Oh, wait, what do?
They watch the same movie every week for a year, once a week.
Oh, yeah, but didn't they have one where
And
they
then,
did
then
it
they
for...
watch Cats every day for a week.
Yeah.
But that's
so-
Cats,
Yeah,
so...
but imagine
And they brought
trying...
different guests on.
Yeah, oh, they have guests?
Sometimes.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, that's different. Maybe we should get a guest for our last...
Yeah.
Yeah, last one of this. We'll just get some random person in just to be like, so why did you guys watch the first 7?
Who are you guys?
Like, why are you yelling? Like, what? Can you keep it down?
Liam, why are you lying on the floor face down?
Why are you sobbing uncontrollably, Nick, into what appears to be a cushion,
Okay.
but...
Over under on something new happening in the second last episode.
I mean, I don't think anything's going to happen in the second last episode. I think they're saving it up for that last one.
I think maybe at the end of the loop in the next episode, he'll be like, wait, I figured it out, but it'll be too late, and then he'll have to figure it out again earlier in the next one.
Oh, no, don't do it to me. Imagine, because I was saying, imagine being an actual viewer, and then that would happen. You go, wait, so we're doing it again, even though he just figured it out. Why? Why?
It's done. We did it. It took 44 hours, but we did it.
But we need to do it again.
With
from
different angles. That's
No.
just this again from different angles. It's
That's
just
it.
this.
That's it. That's all this is. It's just that someone literally went, we did it. We finally, it took
We
us
finally
15,000
animated the
loops.
famous Endless 8 arc. Okay, but now let's do it 8 more times.
What? No!
Animator opens the window and steps out. Is that time? I feel like that's probably time.
Don't make me go back, Liam. No!
I don't know if I enjoyed that joke.
Well, I'll cut it then.
My name is Giovanni Giorgio, but everybody calls me. My name is Giovanni Giorgio. My name is Giovanni. Everybody calls me. But my name is Giovanni Giorgio. My name is Giovanni. Everybody calls me. My name is Giovanni Giorgio. My name is Giovanni Giorgio.
Well, Nick, I calculated that if we were 100% efficient today, we'd finish at 2:30 p.m. and now it's 3 p.m, and we've still got at least one episode to go.
So we're doing well then.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
That's absolutely crushing it.
Yeah, we're doing a great...
I mean, considering we went and got lunch, that's not too bad.
And we can't be...
We did start half an hour late too.
Yeah, and we can't be 100% efficient because we're humans, so...
Coward. Not me. I'm an alien data robot.
Are you saying that you wake up every day, you feel nothing, you then go to work feeling nothing, you come home, you feel nothing?
Yep, and then I do that for 2 weeks, and then the time loops, and I do it all again.
Ah, classic. You do this over and over.
15,458 9 times.
15... Yep, that tracks. That tracks.
Okay, Nick.
Yes.
What did you think of this episode in which they had a pleasant day at summer going to the pool and the baseball cages?
Well, a few things stood out to me.
Okay.
One of them is that the time loops seem to be... They seem to be treated differently.
Time is getting stupider.
Yeah, so the loopiness of it, this is going to sound really... The loopiness of it is more apparent because the loops are happening within the time loop.
And also... Wait, what? Oh, yeah, so I'll do a line of dialogue twice within the same loop.
Exactly.
And also, in the bits where they have deja vu, the visual effects are getting more extreme. Right at the end when he's doing the, no, I have to say something thing, I felt like he was going to murder her. It was going so, warped VHS footage.
He was just going to drop dead in that moment as someone...
Yeah, he's an aneurysm.
Yeah, as someone outside of the universe shanks him.
Nick, we've got to talk about this line of dialogue that's caught our eye every single time so far, which is when they go to the swimming pool and Kyon says to himself, they call it a public pool, but they should call it a communal pool.
You mean like a communal pool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why does he keep saying that?
I don't know.
It's
well, I know why he keeps saying it.
A public pool is anyone can go in it, but in the communal pool, it's you're in there with everyone at once.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
It's everyone's in there with
day
you.
at the swimming pool.
You all got to come in. You all got to stay.
Nobody ever goes in. Nobody ever comes out.
Nobody gets wet.
No running by the pool.
She never looks at the diving sign.
Boy, you leave running by the pool out of this.
So, highlights and lowlights, Liam.
Now, shut up, Nick. I have information.
Oh, yeah, true.
So, I did a bit of Google on lunch, as I mentioned, for insight into why...
There are 8 identical episodes.
Why? Did not get a firm answer from this thread on anime.stackexchange.com.
Okay.
But I have some speculation. 2 posts.
Hit me.
Most likely, the last arc of the show was originally planned to adapt the disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya, but the producers changed their mind well into production and decided to make it into a movie instead. As a result, they had to fill in a 7-episode gap that they had already had the time slot for, thus the gimmick was born. But I get the impression that's just speculation.
Yeah.
The Endless 8 chapter in the novel is only about the last iteration where Kyon figures out the solution.
Huh.
The point of Endless 8 in the narrative is to provide a reason for Nagato to do whatever it is she does in The Disappearance, as she's the only one to remember all the loops.
Okay.
So it's giving her the sufficient trauma and instability to do whatever bad thing she does in that, I guess.
Right, okay. Sure.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Okay.
And the other one, no one knows why the director did it or what purpose it served. In the novels themselves, only the last loop was recorded and the whole thing spanned not even 100 pages. If I were to speculate, then only reason why they did that was because number of coincidences during the airing of the episodes was so high, it was too good to pass on the opportunity. I have no idea what this person's trying to say.
Is he just saying, oh yeah, we had a 7-thing slot open, we got some extra budget, there's been a cancellation in the air times, why not?
Also, if they didn't waste 8 episodes of it, then they would need to adapt some other material, which by the time of the show was just the disappearance arc, something that later got a much better movie adaptation. So basically just speculation that
pure
they wanted to make a
speculation.
movie out of the disappearance, so they had to fill time.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
Certainly they couldn't write original stories and events. That's never a thing that anime's done.
They would never dare treat such a holy, sacred narrative as Haruhi.
Well, it's the story of God.
Well, exactly. It's the birth and rebirth and rebirth and rebirth and rebirth and rebirth and it just goes on 15,000 times, You can't touch that. You have to have it as,
Gravy.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean anything.
Look, it's at that point, man. So highlights and lowlights, Liam.
Okay, highlights and lowlights. What happened this episode? They went to the batting cages. That was fun.
Yeah, they went to the batting cages. We didn't get a top tier moment with, you can go now.
Okay, but I liked the check-in with, this was the first time the check-in with Yuki to make sure she's okay actually like connected with me on an emotional level because he seemed for once in his delivery to be like, oh, she actually seems quite unhappy. I am checking in on a friend. And even though, as usual, it didn't go anywhere, like I felt like there was a bit more sincere,
Actual stuff going on.
Emotional
Resonance.
care for a friend in his the tone of his questioning.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And my low light, I guess my low light would have been the conversation about the time loop again.
Just every time we expect
It's just so
anything
long and they never come to any new insights.
My low light easily was going to be the entire episode, but my highlight...
Is this one of those closed off spaces? No. That's what they say.
Your eyes when you said no was just like, no, I could actually shove an earbud into my brain and it would be... Like, you know,
Use something much more efficient.
not
like a skewer.
Oh, sorry. I could put like a toothbrush up my nostril into my brain, and that would be a more entertaining time than listening to this conversation. Again, please, director, give me a toothbrush. Anything.
Jojo's World does not support self-harm.
However, wait, no, hang on, no, wait. The highlight would have to be the last bit where it's just getting more and more intense.
Yeah, but he's still not trying
nowhere
anything.
near done yet.
Not taking a punt.
Like, just say anything.
Just say anything. Just say, hey, let's do the batting cages again
just say,
tomorrow.
oh, hang on 1 second. And then she could be like, yes. It's like,
do you want to get breakfast tomorrow? You want to do brunch?
shall we go to the beach now again? And she could be like, oh, what a great idea.
Want to help me with my homework?
Wanna just...
He wrote something in Japanese in big on his homework, but we couldn't read it.
If only we could.
We speculated it would be like, nothing matters, or this sucks.
Time loop.
Time loop.
Yeah, he's just written down time loop because he's like, what is my life?
I'm not doing my homework because I'm in a time loop.
The teacher sees it, is like, when did you write this? It's like, when I thought I was in a time loop. You really got to pick up your game.
That boy
Sean.
needs therapy.
Yeah.
Boys will literally get trapped in a time loop, brother. I've already said this, haven't I?
Yeah.
Oh god, I feel like I'm in a time loop.
Oh my god, we're all in a time loop, Liam.
Time is a loop. That's why clocks are round.
I swear to God. No. Oh my god, no. So, I figure that once we're done with this, anytime we watch anime from this point on, we'll be like, oh wow, there's only one episode where
So
they
much
have
is
the same-
happening in this episode.
God, there's only one where, wow. And it just moves.
This has fundamentally warped our experience of media.
Yeah, because from now we're like, wait, so there's not another...
So it's not just the same thing over and over.
Well, what?
It's
Why
not
not?
because the problem is, other than like the first two episodes where we saw different
Events, kind of.
different like scenes within the same event. It's not even like they're not even doing like a Rashomon variation of it, where it's like this is Mikuru's version of the loop.
Yeah.
Or this is, I suppose that because they studiously avoid giving us basically any concrete information about the nature of these people. So I suppose to do that would be contravening that mandate. But it'd be nice to be like, okay, and this is what fucking Koizumi got up to during this loop, even though it's the same as all the others. We're seeing his perspective.
Yeah, but
that'd
it's
be
like-
nice.
Yeah, but it's sort of like, you know, Nagato lives in an apartment.
Nagato lives in an apartment at this very time, probably, unless it's already been resolved. In that apartment, unconscious time clones of Haruhi and Kyon are catching up from when they went back in time and got stuck there for 2 years.
Oh,
That's a thing that happened.
is this?
Yep.
This show is weird.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of weird, are we at time?
Nope, we got another minute.
Okay.
My
are we-
low light
Yes.
would be
The time conversation.
I already said that, didn't I?
You did.
What's your low light?
The whole episode.
Okay. My low light would be next episode.
Oh, no.
My highlight. Things will happen.
I swear.
I believe in things happening.
I swear, if it doesn't resolve, I'm just going to be like, what?
Police were called to a bloody anime homicide in a Palmerston Street apartment today as a frustrating arc of an anime failed to resolve itself satisfactorily, resulting in murder.
Oh, I was going to say, if this was released today, it would be the perfect, like, meme, because it'd be like, this is how far weeb simps will go to watch their waifus and media kind of thing.
I don't get it.
It's sort of like just saying, man, people are really horny and they're watching this thing that gets hornier with every time loop.
I feel like the second episode was the horniest. And on that,
Here we go.
okay. Oh, and we're back for one last time.
We did it.
So while we were getting lunch, I tweeted what we were doing, just because it's funny because we're so miserable doing this.
Yes, correct. The
No,
true
we're having a great
rule,
time.
yep.
And long-time listener Jake got at us to share. Well, first, of course, he posted the sickos laughing at the window image. But then he shared some posts from the Something Awful forums that were made as these episodes were airing.
Oh.
And I'd like to share some of those for the podcast.
Please, yes, by all means.
So I'm not going to share all the poster names, but I'll just go through the posts. Well, that was practically a zero content episode, unless I missed something. Episode summary. Blah, blah, we did stuff. Kyon failed at homework. No plot actually advanced. Maybe it's just that it's been so long between episodes that I'm expecting something a bit more substantial.
Okay.
If you know what's going to happen and you didn't like this episode, you were a pile of bricks.
Amazing.
I love you guys. Just wanted to let you know. Too bad Kyo Annie, that's the company, hates us. How can they possibly drag this out so long? Damn it! They are making it a 3-parter. Why? And why are cliffhangers so painful when you already know what happens? Oh well, more angles next week, I guess.
Oh my god.
Wow, we have to watch another episode of this shit? 3 episodes is definitely pushing it. 4 is ridiculous.
Are these all from the same person?
No, this is a variety.
Okay.
It's really weird, but with part 3, I was kind of pissed off, and with 4, I'm totally fine with it. Anyone else feel that way? I was sort of a bit like, part 1, are they fucking with us? Part 2, okay, I think they're definitely fucking with us. Part 3, gah, they are definitely fucking with us. Part 4, lol, they are still fucking with us. That's all I got.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yep. That rules. So, they resolved the problem, and as Nick guessed, it was because, Haruhi had done her homework, but after having like a transcendental out-of-time moment as she's walking away at the cafe at the end of the loop, Kyon sees all the versions of herself in all her different outfits that left, and then shouts out that he still needs to do his homework, so everyone should come over tomorrow, and like triumphant music swells as she verbally abuses him for making a decision without her permission.
Utmost approval.
And I turned and said to you, like, if you just imagine this without the music, this is just an awful, embarrassing scene in the middle of a cafe.
Just some kid in, like, fresh high school face just being like,
screaming at a boy, being like, don't make decisions without me!
But I need to do my homework! You shut the fuck up, alright? Just, like, poking him into a wall, slamming him into it and being like, I'm coming too,
I'm
damn
the
it.
leader. So there's a quick montage of them all hanging out at Kyon's house and doing homework, and Haruhi is playing video games with little sister.
Yep.
I like the bit where he's asking them all to come, where he's like, Koizumi, let me copy off the answers you've already done.
Well, this is the thing. Good open communication was the solution to this all along. Kinda.
And then for the final scene, it's Koizumi and Kyon in the empty club room as the credits are rolling.
Yep. So that's where they normally
it's like,
would.
well, we sure did escape the time loop. We don't remember it, but Yuki does. She's taking the day off today. She's probably pretty stressed.
Yeah, Nagato would be fucking livid.
New content after all this time? I don't know how to deal.
I don't think I know what that is anymore.
It's like at the end of Palm Springs, starring Andy Samberg and the person whose name I always forget, where he's afraid of the prospect of leaving the loop because it's all he's known.
Yeah, it's comfortable.
And they play poker, and that's the end. Oh, and he's like, "Oh, if I could repeat this day, I'd definitely play this hand for money." He's got like a royal flush.
Yeah. So it didn't need to be 8 episodes.
Nope. I think 2 would have been a comfortable amount.
Even 3, I would have been like, okay.
You can see what they're doing.
Yeah, like episode 1 was the first one that we had.
Sets
Episode 2,
a baseline.
Yep.
Control element. If you're taking this scientifically.
Episode 2 has the first failure.
Yeah.
And then episode 3 is just that episode we watched.
Yeah, and you could do that thing that we talked about where like different conversations like phase between different outfits to imply different loops.
Yep, exactly. But that didn't happen.
I think the most intensely frustrating part of this to me is that Nagato tells us that they do all these different part-time jobs. We never get to see them. We only ever get to see Dress as Frogs World.
Handing out balloons.
We don't get to see them being removalists. That's a skit with these losers that I think would be interesting.
Yeah, we don't see anything new. Nothing fresh.
No.
Just
angles.
Yeah.
Close up on the like August 8 on the calendar and different TV angles.
Just a lot of 8s, you know? Just a whole lot of 8s.
And that, Nick, is patreon.com/Jojo's World. Haruhi Suzumiya, Endless 8, Endless Podcast Spectacular.
That's it. That's all we got.
That's all there is.
So
there isn't anymore.
So what was your highlight?
Madeline. I liked
When it ended.
I liked the bit where there was a dog on screen.
Yeah, I can't take that away from you. Yeah.
What was your highlight, Nick?
My highlight was probably the second episode where we watched it all again and went, oh,
Yeah,
that's
when the
neat.
explanations of what was going on was still fresh and
Yes,
interesting.
exactly.
And I was like, oh, I really liked the way he spoke in this scene.
Yeah. Yeah, never again.
My hubris.
Least favorite was everything leading up to the point before the final climax.
I just really don't like all the horny shots in this.
Yeah, what was up with all the... It's weird. It's
Part of the
real
reason I
weird.
stopped watching this show.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Very strange that they were like, you know what we need? We need a shot when they're at the swimming pool. Just
Between her legs.
yeah. Just really get right up
Yeah.
there. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Nick, you going to keep watching this show?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not. There was a thought in my head in the last bit where I was like, anything that was possibly endearing to these characters,
It's been stripped
or,
away.
like even vaguely likable, is just
like-
gone.
What we've done today is kind of like if you watched your favourite movie every day until you got absolutely sick of it, but we started with much less affection for it.
And also, it was the last third of the movie.
Yeah.
But then we stopped before it's like watching Avengers Endgame,
Oh, that's a terrible experience in itself.
Yeah,
That's
but-
right, I said it.
but every time he clicks, you just stop.
You just go back to the start of the movie.
Yeah, you go back to the start of the movie, and that's it. What a nightmare.
So tune in for our next bonus episode where we do that.
oh, God. Isn't Endgame like 3 hours long?
Probably. I think Endgame was better than
Infinity
Infinity War, but it was still just fine.
Yes. That's how I feel as well. Where it was like, yeah, we all know that they're going to win, so...
Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to
Yeah.
say. What we were talking about before, when we were talking about using Yuki's knowledge to like navigate the time loop in a more of a efficient way.
Yeah.
It's like Doctor Strange in those two movies, where he's like, I can only see the one timeline where we win, and I can't tell you anything because that's how we lose.
But why?
That's just the way the story goes, you know.
Yeah.
It's how you have a character who can see the future and still have any tension.
Yeah, no. But it's just like, okay, cool. You know, you could just solve this immediately, right? Because we know where all the stones are. Why don't we just go get them right now?
Get him.
Actually, no, that's what they did, wasn't it? Where they went to try and get them and then failed.
Yeah.
Ah, touche. All right.
Movies. You like movies?
Movies?
You like movies?
Movies?
Yeah.
Things that have
Mandalorian. That's a
curated
movie.
content?
It's a series of short movies.
It's a series of short movies. Yeah, okay. They're 40 minutes long, yeah.
Micro
40?
movies.
30.
Short film.
25.
Very artistic.
I don't know. They actually have new content.
Grongus is in it.
Grongus.
Yeah, Grongus.
Who the hell is Grongus?
Little green guy.
Grogu.
Gringo.
Gringo.
Gringo Star.
It is a Wild West, I'll give you that.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, let's never talk about the Endless Eight ever
Let's
again.
never talk about Haruhi Suzumiya again.
Oh my god.
Western culture.
Oh my god. Like, at about episode 6, I was like, this is just painful now. Like, I feel like somewhere deep in the recess of my mind, I'm like, you know, I'm really glad I did this.
Yeah, but was it worth it? Absolutely, yeah.
I think, yeah, you know
Once
what?
I realised.
Yeah, I think if I had to go back and do it again, I know what to look out for.
I would definitely do this again.
Yeah, you know.
Same time tomorrow?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, sure, no worries. Thanks, everyone. This has been Jojo's World Patreon bonus content.
Check us out on the main feed.
Thank you for your support.
All those patrons who don't listen to our main feed. Well, now's the best opportunity you have.
Let me tell you, we're closing the main feed down in
No,
a
we're
week.
not.
Subscribe now.
Bye.
See ya.